Okay, so here's some examples. So here we have Karen's. So she sent two images on the right, uh, and she has the original on top and the detailed shot, and she says she likes the image of the balancing stones, and the big one that she thinks is too much, and the detail is too little, and and she's absolutely right about the problem being the wild water in the background, because that takes away completely from the stones. It makes it very hard to identify the stones. And she liked the calm water in the foreground, and that's absolutely right. And she said she would like more vegetation and green, and that's also absolutely right. So yeah. And she said, as it currently is, the images is a bit hard to design in fabric. I would say impossible. But so Karen was right on the right track. So we're going to figure out how to fix this image. So here's her two pictures again. And so here's what I did. The first thing I did was remove the background. So on the picture on the left, I told it remove background, and this is what I got on the right. Now it did remove the stones in the middle too, but sometimes that's what you get with remove background, and you have to go back and forth a little bit. So I removed the background, and then here I took the original picture and cropped it, so I only have half of it. And then here I removed some light areas of the background, because it's those light areas of the white water that are interfering with these beautiful stones. So the areas where you see red there is where I dragged out manually some of the light areas. And then I took the stones that I had removed the background and just put them down on top. So now they're on top of where they were. And then I'm like, okay, we got to find some cool green background. So I went online and I found this photo, and you know, at first look at the photo, it wouldn't look good, but I was looking for a portion in the photo that would work. So that little portion on the left works really well, because it's just what Karen said she wanted. It's, you know, mostly green and still water. So I got that photo, and we're going to put it behind there. So that's pretty good, except that there are too many value differences going on in the background. It's competing with the foreground. And when I say value differences, I say the lights are too light and the darks are too dark. So there's a wide value range down there. So what we're going to do is lower the opacity back there, and that puts it into the background. And then that allows your foreground to be the main event. Okay. Then I don't like this clump of rocks on the right-hand side. That's too busy for me. So I made a copy of the photo there on the right, and I just put it on top. So we get rid of those. Okay. So now we have to look at, well, we're a little bit weighty on the left-hand side. So we're going to see how to fix that. So I put my rule of thirds on there. And interestingly enough, two of these piles of rocks line up pretty close with those verticals. So I'm thinking, that's very lucky. So we'll nudge those around a little bit till we get a really good composition. So what I want to do is move the rule of thirds to the left so that those two are right on those verticals. So that means chopping off some on the right, and it means I have to add some to the left there, say. So I'm chopping that off the right, cropping that. And then I just made a copy of the edge of that photo and put it there. It's, you know, you can see it's a mirror image and it looks a little funky, but it puts the right values in there. So we're getting there. We're getting there. It's still a little heavy on the left-hand side. So we're going to see what we can do about that. But I love that this tall one, the top of it is right at that intersection. But it seems heavy on the left side. So I made copies of the two in the middle, and I'm going to reverse them. So there we go. So I moved the tall one to the right and the short one to the left. And that's much better because we have a little more weight on the right and a little less on the left. So there we go. So we've made more of, you can compare it to the picture on the right there, where the white water in the background really takes the eye away from the subject matter. And so by changing the background and adjusting the rocks around a little bit. Now, the one thing you do want to be careful of is where the light's coming from when you combine paintings or photos. And in both of these, the background photo and the foreground photo, the light is a little bit diffused and coming from kind of straight up. So that worked. But when you're actually working on your artwork, you want to, it looks like in the background photo, the light's coming from straight up and a little to the right. So when you're working on the artwork, you might want to adjust those shadows on the rocks so that it harmonizes with the background. But I hope Karen likes this, and I love it. Okay.